All right, Eldon back here. Will it live again? This one's going to, I'm sure. We're going to do another short segment here on the disassembly of this Albert Lea Tourist camp stove. So get ready. This is going to be interesting because this is not something I was planning on doing. I'll flip it around here and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, this is something that I did not think I could get off of here this simply, but it looks like it's going to work. So let's see, on the front of the stove here we have that brass badge, and it's attached by two rivets that are put in and then pinned into place. So I wasn't sure if I could get those rivets out, so I was just going to try to figure out how to work it there, but I actually been working on this one and I figured it out. So if I put a little pressure on that rivet head there, I can actually pop it out of the hole, and there we go. It comes out and releases the badge on the other side. So the way I did that, it's hard to see probably in the camera, but this side of the rivet here was flattened out by hammering on it or something similar to that. And what that does is it makes it spread out like that so that it won't go back through the hole. So I figured if I can get these little edges of this thing folded up and kind of pressed back together, I can probably get it small enough I can get it out of that hole. So thinking along those lines, I figured out that I can do this with my pliers and work my way around it, and it kind of picks those edges back up to where there's some semblance of being where they were. Now, in doing this, I am going to lose a little bit of the material off the end of that rivet, but I can make this work. Got that enough there. I don't think I quite got enough. So the other thing I did was I took my pocket knife and I went around the thing and made sure that I had all the edges of that rivet picked up. There we go. I have a little piece back on the back side that I couldn't see. So I did that. And what that did was it got it picked up enough that it would go back through that hole. And I still have a little bit sticking up there, so that's going to give me something to pin it back in place. But also, I'm going to cheat on this too. And when it's all said and done, I'm actually going to epoxy that plate back on the front, and the rivets will help that process. So here we go. There's the back side of it with our two rivets sticking up there. And here's the front side again. So I love it because these brass plates clean up so cool. They look so awesome with just some steel wool on it, and we'll get to that in another part of the restoration. But I want to make sure that I don't lose the two little rivets out of it. So I'm going to have it set aside here in its own spot instead of just smashing around in my parts bin. Now, the next thing. Normally, on the Coleman stoves that I do, I can't get the handle loose from the case because it's the tabs that hold it are welded or spot welded in place. But as I got to looking at this one, that's not the case. The tabs are stuck through two slots here, and it's bent twice. So the case, this is what made the slot in the case, that little tab there. Get my screwdriver and see if I can lift it up so you can see what I'm talking about. So I can open that slot back up like this. On both sides. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see me do that one probably, but you get the concept of what I'm talking about here. There we go. So I get that straightened back out like that, and that then allows me to straighten these tabs up, which are the actual ones that are going over the handle on the other side itself. And let me get a pair of needle nose pliers here. I'm going to get a hold of that and straighten that up. Pull those together so they're kind of parallel, so they'll go out the hole. And let's get her out of there. It's got to be close. There we go. There we go. That allowed me then to get my handle and those clips out of the case of the stove, and that will allow me to do a little nicer job at cleaning these things up and painting them and reassembling them. So I'll go ahead, I'll do this other one off camera, but I just wanted you to see that it's little things like that, that looking at them carefully, how this thing was assembled, very often we can take these things apart in ways that will be helpful in our restoration. So I wanted to pass that on to you in this video, just dealing with those two things right there. Next time, I really do think I'll actually get to the burner mechanism and assembly. So let's wrap up this one. Thanks for watching me. I hope you guys are watching, learning something. I think for me, one of the biggest takeaway lessons that I have in these is don't be afraid of these things. It's like the little rivets down there. As long as I don't totally destroy them, there is always some way to salvage them, even if literally if I had to epoxy that back into place and put epoxy on the rivets so that I knew they weren't going to fall out. Is it 100% authentic? No, but if I do it right, nobody will ever see it. And that's kind of the general theory behind what I'm doing. Could it be done otherwise? Yes, I could. If I was really serious about this, I could get out a lathe and machine some new brass rivets to put in the thing. But I'm not that serious. Yeah, I'm not that serious. I'm more crazy than that because I'll drag my hammers out and do stuff, but yeah, I'm not that serious. Anyway, hope you had fun watching this, and we'll be back with part number next, whatever that's got to be. I have to think that far ahead. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.